Okay, it's the fourth week in May. Just looking at the update of all the fruit trees. So normally what I do is I walk around the trees, take some pictures, look at everything before I do the video. That way I'll kind of have an idea what's going on so I can talk about it, make sure to point things out in the video so I can see them later. And I thought I had done that until I was doing the video just a minute ago and got to the cherry tree and found a big surprise. So decided to start over because I was pretty much at a loss for what was going on there, but I figured out what's going on, so we got a big surprise. But pear tree looks good. It's got lots of growth still, lots of the green growth, several inches on that. The leaves are still looking good. No obvious problems with any bugs and stuff. The peaches or the pears are getting kind of fat. Last week they mostly looked like this. Now there's some that are fatter. So doing good. Doesn't look like there's any problems going on. So everything looks all right. Cherry tree, lots more green growth, or green leaves, and then actually some green growth too here. And I thought everything was good. And I was just noticing the little cherries that are immature and malformed, and I was looking around to see those, and then I saw this. That is an aphid infestation. Black aphids are so thick you can see them even from here. Looks like pepper, and they are all over this particular spot, and you can see them here and here and here. We tell how the leaves are curled up. These are black aphids. The ones that I had over in my peach tree were the green aphids. That was one I finally figured out last week what was going on. So now it looks like I have a different species variety of aphids over here. But you can tell how the leaves are curled up. That was my first indicator. Well, before obviously the black stuff, but even now that I started to look for it, I can see it all over the tree because I know what to look for from the peach tree. So you can tell here, the way the leaves are curled up, there's probably aphids in there. And there's several spots over here. One of them right here is the closest one. You can see a whole bunch of little black aphids infesting all this area. So all these spots where it's curled up, that's going to probably be the cause. So now I have this giant cherry tree which has a lot of problems, and I'm going to have to treat this one in some way or another for the aphids. It's got a lot more leaves than the peach tree, so it's not going to be as big of a problem as far as hurting the tree, but it's going to be more difficult to treat because this tree is ginormous and very wide compared to the little peach tree, which is probably like a quarter of the size. So it's going to be a big task to figure out what we're going to do and to try and get rid of them. So I'll talk about that more when we get to the peach tree, what I did there to try and deal with that. So anyway, yeah, that was a very unpleasant surprise. So, but I did see some ladybugs around on a couple leaves and one of them up there, so hopefully they will help with that problem because that's the natural predator of the aphid. You can see ladybug right there. So yeah, hopefully they'll eat some, but we're gonna have to do something because there is very many of them. So anyway, that's why I come around here and do this, so I can find these problems before they take off. So apple tree looks good, big, healthy, no problems. Leaves look good, don't see a lot of issues with it. The amazing thing about this was the fruit. Last week there were a few that were starting to fatten up a little bit like that, but now there's a ton of them that are, there's no doubt that that's fruit. You can easily tell that there's going to be apples this year. At least they're starting to form, I should say. Never know what will happen, but at this stage there's definitely, they are closed up. Because last week they looked like this and couldn't quite tell what whether they were going to make it or not, but now there's so many that are closed and actually starting to swell. So we're looking forward to good things from the apple crop this year. So that is very encouraging news. And with our peach tree, as you know from the past 2 weeks, we've had an issue with it. And after I did the update last week, the video, I went and looked more into it and figured out what it was, and then made a little video of the results, which, in case you missed it, is they were aphids. So it wasn't peach leaf curl, because that's a fungal infection, but aphids, that's what's causing this. And then the issue that made them harder to see than those ones on the cherry tree, because those ones are black, these ones were green, and obviously the plant's green, and so much more difficult. But basically I took a little baggie, shook them out, and then was able to see them in the bag against like the white fence, and you could clearly see the little green bugs. So I blasted them a couple times with a water jet, just to try and knock them loose. That was one of the things they said you can do. I did that a couple times, but I still wanted to make sure, so I went out and got I was actually going to buy some lady beetles, but the store was out of them, so I ended up going with a mantis, mantid egg casing. And so here it is right there, tied to the tree there in the crook. So pretty soon those little, a couple hundred of those little guys should come out, and just make sure to mop any of this up, that if there is still some aphids around, which there probably will be. So that's what I ended up doing for this tree. As I said, this tree is much smaller than the giant cherry tree, so I'm sure some mantid cages or cases will do it, but it's going to be a little bit more work there. But anyway, so hopefully we'll have that problem, at least in a little bit of time, controlled without having to insecticide everything. But the great news is that the peaches, the size of the peaches, are really starting to get big. They're getting bigger all around. You can see, like I said, most of them were that size last week, and now they're much bigger. So that's a good sign, because I was concerned with all the leaves yellowing and curling up. So hopefully between the water jet and the mantids, it'll recover, and those fattening peaches are a good sign. So anyway, that is what's going on with the peach. The pear, this other pear, same as his cousin up there, looks good. Lots of green new growth going up, lots of leaves, so no problems with the leaves. I mean, a couple of holes and stuff, but no big deal. Fruit's getting fat, really fat out there, super fat, so that's fabulous. Gonna have to try and see if I can pull some of this back, since it's all going towards the back fence there. Pull it back a little bit, see if I can train it up a little bit. I've been meaning to do that for a long time, but with everything else I just kind of didn't get to it, so I'm gonna try to get to it now. So then our apricot tree is here, looking good. We have not a lot of fruit on it, because a lot of the fruit dropped, and either due to the frost damage, it was started to form but then couldn't finish forming, or I'm not sure. But there's the ones that are there are good size. They're pretty big, since the fact that it's going to be 2 months before they're ripe. They're still bigger. They're almost as big as they were last year. So we won't have as many probably because of the super early set and the late frost, but we'll have some, and more importantly, we'll get some redirection on the growth. And you can see the red vines here, the red stem, that's the new growth, and the red leaves. So all that's the new stuff. And you can also see this cool leaf bud there, where it's starting to shoots out these little things. I'm guessing it's just gonna be another leaf cluster, or maybe even more of the vine. So, or gonna be not a vine but a branch next year. So anyway, so the apricots that we do have look good. No problems with the bugs or anything so far, knock on wood. So we'll see. The raspberries looking big and full. You know, they're up about 3.5 feet now on the big bushy part. Lots and lots and lots of bees. And what was so amazing is just 1 week later, got berries. And so you can see this is what they look like last week with all the little filaments. That's what they look like, but now a lot of them look like that with the berry set there. I don't know how well you can make it out here, but they're there, and it's pretty cool and pretty exciting. So looks like we'll have a good berry crop as long as nothing comes to mess with that. But we have lots and lots of honeybees working super hard to make sure to pollinate all that. It is a hive of activity, pardon the pun. But so anyway, this part's still coming in, but eventually we want to get this under control and get that all upright. So our strawberry patch here from the friend doing okay. One of them didn't make it, but the others, some of them are looking okay, some of them aren't, but I watered them again, so we'll see. And then these guys here are looking pretty fantastic. It's, a lot of growth, green growth, a lot of berries, a lot of flowers. So you don't see more blooms over here now, but there's a lot of fruit that's already started to form all over the place now. So that is that's a good thing. You can see it right there, green berries. So hopefully middle of next month we'll have some berries. And so there's also some last thing was the runners. There were some that I noticed when I was cleaning it out last week. It's coming out over here. So there's a runner here that's coming from this plant way over here somewhere. I think it's way over here, but it's coming out, and this is how they reproduce. So it sends out this long vine, and those are going to be the leaves, and he's going to put some roots down. And the same thing over there, over in the end there. So they just send those vines out and find some place to go down. You can see one here, two, and then one over here. So that's how they reproduce, and I'm gonna, once they start to get established a little bit, cut the runner off and transplant them to that little bed over there so that I can have better control over them and, you know, see how they do in the bed instead of over here. But we'll see. It's looking a lot better than it did last year just by cleaning it out, so hopefully that'll have a big impact on it. So that is our update for this week, and always something new when you come out to the garden and see what's going on. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, but that's the way it is.